Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Elizabeth, and today we're going to be talking about lessons and top tips from Codie Sanchez. So she's a mentor that I've been learning from and that I've been consuming a lot of her content lately and trying to learn and grow from her. And she is incredible. She's a child of immigrants, and she has built an incredible net worth, over $100 million, and she invests in small businesses. She worked for Goldman Sachs, she worked for Vanguard, and she was in investment banking and was incredible. And she decided to work for herself, and she has email lists, and she has a YouTube channel, and she invests in all these small businesses, etc. And I just love the way she thinks. She has contrarian thinking, and that is totally up my alley. I am not always trying to think differently than other people or do the opposite, but I do try to think critically about everything and go, why do we do this? Okay, that makes sense. Let's do it. Or why do we do this? I don't fully agree with that. Let me go down this other path. So I really like Codie. Let's go ahead and dive right into some of the tips that I learned from her, and feel free to check her out if you want more information from her. Number one, Codie says that the best way to become wealthy, and to especially become extremely wealthy and to take back some of America and to have some skin in the game, is to invest and acquire businesses, right? And so acquisition, if you've heard of me talk about Alex Hormozy or Layla Hormozy, they own acquisition.com. They built their own businesses, but then eventually they now invest, and they're investors in these businesses, and they help build them back up. But Codie does the same thing, but with small businesses. She says boring businesses. Like, she has a really great video on how to open a laundromat, and she explains why she thinks that's one of the best businesses. But investing in small businesses, and she's actually made a ton of money this way. But if you look at the list of billionaires in the world, the richest people in the world, a lot of them have acquired businesses. And so that's one thing, and asking the right questions. I've talked about this before. What do the wealthiest people do? And I'm not saying, like, I am not trying to be the wealthiest person in the world, but I do think it's cool to learn from some of these people and to start expanding. To become a billionaire, you have to have a different type of thinking. And so I think that's really cool. So acquisition, we talk about this, simply just getting more assets, whether that's through businesses, whether that's with investing, whether that's building certain products or whatever. You want to acquire things that have value. Number two, I really like this one from Codie. So it's not just about the knowledge and the tactics. That's important, but it also is about belief and mindset. And so stop limiting yourself. And so she actually didn't really believe in a lot of that stuff and thought it was kind of woo-woo, if you've ever heard that before. And she's like, give me the tactics, give me what I need to do, and then I'll do it, right? But it's actually important to learn about all the mindsets and the belief systems. And that's why I've been talking about that on this channel. I've seen that we can know what to do, but sometimes how to do it is actually really hard. And so she talked about Tony Robbins, and she respected the guy, but wasn't really sure why he did that and why it was so successful. But then once she started meeting people and learning about other people, she's like, oh, this actually really is important. And when she started going along in the journey and having some obstacles and things that came up, she realized it's important. So having this belief, having these good mindsets, and the mindset of wealthy people, the mindset of people who can acquire businesses, mindsets of people who can take the hard times and turn it into something beautiful and successful, is really, really important. Number three, play the game. It's a game, right? And so she learned and unveiled the curtain behind finance. And so finance, being in the financial sector and working with Goldman Sachs, you really start to see all these different financial lingo and the language and the words that they use. And it's meant to keep people out. And they talk about gatekeeping and let's just get rich quietly. And we're going to keep this curtain up and everybody else can't get behind it or see behind it. Or we're going to use these words that are more complicated, like EBITDA or whatever, which really is just getting more cash. And so why can't we just say more cash, right? And so she's all about educating people and empowering the everyday person to go ahead and acquire businesses to do this. And she wants to teach it and make it more accessible to everybody else. But basically play the game, get in the game, get some skin in the game. And so get as many assets as you can. Start playing the game. Like, the world of life, we need money. And that's one reason I talk about it. I'm not obsessed with money. Like, there's so many things that I care more about. But in order to do those things that I care more about and serve the people that I want to serve and spend time with the people that I care about, we need some money and some skin in the game. Number four, she says to do what most people are not willing to do in order to build wealth. And so you have to start at the bottom a lot of the times. And so she started at Vanguard making $37,000 a year. She thought it was amazing. Then taxes came along and she's like, my money's gone. And so it's really important to not just do what everybody else does, right? Like, everybody else just goes and we follow along with the standard path and we're in lots of debt and blah, 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 blah. But we don't want to do that. And so don't just go along with the standard path. Figure out what works for you and start at the bottom, right? She made $37,000 a year and now she's making hundreds of millions of dollars. And so this is where the wealthy people say, they want to learn first and then they want to earn. So she learned a lot of valuable skills at Vanguard, and then she also went to Goldman Sachs, and then she also started and built a business down in Latin America, and all of these different things. And she acquired so many skills and had a lot of experiences. And I can attest to this. I've done a lot of things in my 20s, and I've learned a ton of skills. I've gained a lot more experience than when I was just graduating college or even before college, right? And so all of these skills and these lessons that you learn will help you in acquiring more wealth and building whatever you want for the rest of your life. So similarly, number 5, do a job to learn. And when you can't learn anymore, then move on. And so she shows that her resume, she typically moves around every 2 years and such. And this is important too, because you can make more money. And typically, if you stay in the same company, it's a really slow game to get promotions and to make more money. But it's also about the learning process, right? And so I'm really big on this too. I love to just learn and grow. All right, what can I learn? And then of course, you could probably learn more in the same area, but you would probably learn a lot more just switching to something else, or even a similar job but in a different sector or whatever. And so learn, and switch around and keep acquiring and learning those skills and use other people's dime, right? So instead of just owning your own business right away or something, she talks about learning on someone else's dime while they're paying you. She doesn't necessarily believe in just you have to suffer and you have to like sleep on couches and have no money. Like you could use your income to fund whatever projects you want to do in the long run. Number 6, she talks about leveling up yourself and then finding other people who want to level up too. And so that's the best thing to do. If you're looking for a relationship or if you're looking for more like-minded people, you want to become that person. And so level up yourself. Always work on yourself. Instead of looking at other people, how can you be an interesting person? How can you be someone that someone else wants to learn from or be with or work with, right? And so level up yourself, right? I think that's a super, super important thing. And anybody can take that away and anyone can work on that. So ask yourself, what are ways that you can level up? And that's what I've been asking myself. Like, how can I level up? How can I improve? How can I be someone that other people want to work with and be with? Number 8, you get what you think about. So what are you thinking about? This is so critical. And so I always talk about focusing, and so many successful people have talked about this, but what are you thinking about? What are you building? I talked about recently, like being a builder. What do you want to create in this world? What do you want to do? How do you want to serve? Are you bogged down with drama? Are you bogged down with limiting beliefs? What are you putting into your mind and what are you letting flow? And so it's super, super important to start being someone who believes and to start thinking about good things and being mindful and sifting through the things that come through your head and just pushing them out and seeing what is useful and what is not. Number 7, I kind of talked about this earlier, but own a laundromat. And so, or own a small business and be willing to do that. Maybe that's your path. And so I'm not really ready for that right now. Or maybe that's just a belief that I have, but that's not what I'm working on right now. But maybe one day it will be, but maybe it's the right time for you. And so if you want to check it out, feel free to go check out her YouTube. She has a video. Maybe I'll link it here. But learn about it. And so she said, if you can't understand the business of just putting a coin into a machine and then it makes and does the work, right? The laundry machine cleans the clothes, then you maybe shouldn't be in a business. So if you can understand that business, then you can get that business and get some skin in the game. You can actually make a lot more money. So her argument is basically, how a lot of people in real estate, they talk about acquiring different like townhouses or multifamily homes or whatever. But she actually says owning a small business can actually make you way more money right away and for the long run. And so that's why she highly encourages that. And so if you want more information, feel free to check out her video. She can explain a lot more than I can. 9, people matter, right? And so that's one reason I'm on here. I want to share information and see if my experience or the things that I'm learning can help you. And so people matter. People also have the answers. And so if you're looking to solve a problem, find a person, right? And we are all on this planet together. How can we serve, love, and support one another? Number 10. What do you think about money? Do you think it's scarce? Do you think it's hard to get? Are you scared of it? Are you fearful of it? And so she talks about this and people's mindset about money. And people who are going to get more money and who are more successful and wealthy typically are like, money, come to me, instead of like curling in a ball and hiding and just feeling about money, right? And so you want to have this peace about money. You want to feel that it flows freely to you, right? You want to have this good relationship with money. And I have some videos on this channel if you're interested in that. But it's super important to believe that money can come to you and that you're worthy of the money. And there's so much out there. You can grab as much of it as you want. Number 11, what are the stories that you're telling yourself? What are you telling yourself? And so this is a really important one. A lot of people talk about this in the psychology space or the personal development. What are the stories you're telling yourself? And so ask yourself, what are these stories that you're coming up with? And are they true? Are they helpful? Are they relevant? And be careful and try to reframe and retell a new story and to see if it's helping you in your life or if it's hurting you. And so I think having this evaluation and going ahead on and reflecting in your life can really, really help you, and be mindful and careful about what types of stories and things you're telling yourself or that you're allowing yourself to believe that might not even be true. Number 12, from Codie, I've learned to take care of yourself, but also to empower yourself. And so she's really into eating well. Her husband's a Navy SEAL. She wants to be fit and healthy and feel good. And a lot of successful people do this. Of course, can you be successful and not super healthy or take care of yourself? Yes. And so like Warren Buffett has Coca-Cola all the time, etc. But it really helps. And so take care of yourself, believe in yourself, and empower yourself to believe that you can. Like, why not? Why can't Codie be in these rooms? Why can't a woman be in these rooms? Why can't you be in the room that you want to be in, or achieve the goal that you want to achieve? And so empower yourself. And I think too, taking care of your mind and your body and respecting yourself can really go a long way and can actually help you get whatever you want. Number 13, building wealth can be boring and slow. So buckle up and get prepared. So yes, you can build wealth. She's pretty young and she's built hundreds of millions of dollars. But typically to become a billionaire, or also even with building a lot of wealth, it typically does take time. She had to put so many hours and so many years into learning a lot of these skills and making connections and failing and all of these things. And so it takes time. And so most wealthy and successful people say, be prepared to play the long game and stop trying to rush it and just take each step, and then eventually you'll get there. 14, get creative. And so she has some videos on her channel about a cupcake business, about the laundromat, about Airbnb. So those are really fun videos to watch if you're interested. I highly recommend them. But get creative. So you never know, like cupcakes, she made so much money, not Codie, but somebody else. I can't remember her name at the moment, but it was a fascinating video, and really, really great margins for the business. And so really low costs, etc. And so get creative, see what problems are out there, see what you're good at, see what you can build and create in this world and what the world might need. And so get creative. It doesn't have to be just this boring thing or this limiting thing. Expand your mind and see what you can bring to this world. Number 15, wealth is contagious. I talk about everything is contagious, but get in the right environment. And so if you want to be wealthy, get around wealthy people. Surround yourself, even if you can't find those people or make those connections in real life, like I said, on YouTube or any social media platform or etc. Like start getting those people's thoughts in your head. Now, I don't just get those people's thoughts, like I want to be a good mom, I want to be healthy, all of those things. So I follow or I find mentors or people that do those things as well, and then try to find a balance and figure out what I'm going to do for my life. But it's super, super important to surround yourself with those types of people and be careful. Like they talk about that with health, is that if you're in a environment where there's a ton of unhealthy food or people don't exercise or things of that nature, you are going to exercise less, you're going to eat less healthy, etc. So just be really, really mindful. And so you always want to surround yourself with really, really smart and successful and people that you want to emulate and be like. Number 16, a lot of people actually talk about this, that your friends might not be the same as you continue to grow, right? And so they might know this version of you and that's what they're comfortable with, or that's what they fell in love with. And so they might, and what they're interested in might be way different than you. And so yes, you could keep some of the same friendships, but you also might grab some new ones. And that's just part of the journey. And so keep learning, keep building, and don't be afraid for that to happen, because at the end of the day, you want to grow. And if you're not growing, people say you're dying. And so I'd rather grow. Of course, I want to make sure I'm taking care of relationships if I can, but I'm always open to finding new people and more people to connect with. And lastly, similarly to with environment and the people you hang around with, there was actually a study that said if you sit within 25 feet of a top performer, your performance increases by at least 15%. But if you sit within 25 feet of a poor performer, your performance decreases by 30%. So be careful. So it really, really does matter who you hang around, who are you with. And so you want to set the tone and you want to surround yourself with people who are going to lift you up, make you healthier, happier, smarter, more successful, wealthier. And so hang around those people. So those were some lessons and some information that I learned from Codie Sanchez. Feel free to check out her YouTube channel or to check out Contrarian Thinking or anything that she does. I highly recommend it. I really like how she thinks. She just really opened my eyes and got me starting to think in a little bit of a different way, and has a lot of great information out there. So feel free to check that out. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and share and subscribe for more. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, if you like videos like this, if you have any mentors that you've really resonated with, or if you want me to look more into somebody else, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Keep working, learning, and growing. You've got this, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.